Welcome to Spill the Real podcast, the Margarita Book Club for women in their 40s navigating midlife, motherhood, marriage, and that nagging feeling that you should have life figured out by now but don't.
We're two 40-something moms of teenagers, married for years, probably in perimenopause, and still trying to lose the same 20 pounds we've been fighting for a decade.
This isn't about having all of the answers. It's about spilling the real conversations as we wish someone had with us sooner.
So grab a margarita or a coffee and let's spill the real.
Welcome back to Spill the Real, and we are talking today about anxiety, overthinking, and the mental spiral, which I am about to lose it now in real time. So welcome.
Yeah, welcome. This is it. This is why we named it Spill the Real.
Absolutely.
This is it.
For this moment right now. The title is speaking my whole vibe. So before we get into always the episode, we love to spill the real and have a real talk question to where kind of just in like a shoot from the cuff scenario. And
but I feel like I need to ask you. I'm asking you first. I'm asking you first.
Okay, ask me.
Okay, here's our real talk question today. What is something you've been holding in?
A lot of shit. I think that because of the position I'm in, as this is why I like this episode. This is why I like this podcast, is because there's a layer of me that I always don't get to share because I have to wear a lot of different hats. And as a nonprofit founder, executive director, I have over 100 staff and lots of moving pieces every day. And so there's a lot of things I do have to hold onto and hold in because it's not appropriate or professional to share. Although, like, if you were to ask a lot of people, I try to be as vulnerable as possible because that vulnerability and being an empathetic leader is really important to me. But there's certain things you just can't share, But with that, I think that comes, I then condition myself to figure out how just to hold it all in and hold on to things that if I could just release it and let it go. But then if I did that with a friend or my husband or whoever, a therapist probably at this point in time, I don't know that somebody could fully grasp the amount of pressure and all of the things. That in a 24-hour period that I experience, and I put all that on myself. And so I always tell people the strongest people cry in silence. And really a lot of people wouldn't know how much I cry at night in my pillow because it's my release.
Right.
Because I care so much about others and taking care, like I'm a servant's heart. So like I take care of other people. So therefore I can't let them, I take on their experience as my own. And that's what I hold on to. Like, are they upset? Like, yes, I'm a perfectionist. So are they upset with me? Or did I come off because I'm stressed? Like it just happened today in real time where I had like text the director. I'm like, I'm sorry if I come off rude. Like I'm going in a million different directions.
Right.
And my response to you wasn't about you.
Right.
And I've been very open and honest. When I recognize that I am that person doing that, I try to go behind myself, but it still holds on to like, I can say I'm sorry, but it's probably going to happen again in a week or two.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, am I really sorry if I but I'm like, I'm trying to figure that piece out.
Yeah.
So I hold on to every little thing and I hold it all in. And that's just how it's built, which is not a good thing.
Well, I know, but it is something you have to try to overcome for your own mental health, for your own, because it will drive things like that could drive somebody crazy. And playing all those things over in your mind. Yeah. I'm not an overthinker really, or I don't want to say I'm not an empathetic person. I am.
You are.
But there are times too where I'm like, sorry about your luck. Like, I don't know. Like, I can't take that on too. Like, I got enough stuff to take on. So, I don't want to say I'm good at that, but I try not. I'm not saying it doesn't bother me, but sometimes I can still sleep at night. I feel like that makes me sound like a very
No, I think there are personality traits that like people are just built like I am an Enneagram 3. I know that. And so I am just built in a way that I could try every strategy known to mankind, but you can't you can shape a personality, you can't change and bet like you can't change a personality.
right.
But you can shape it and you
Yeah.
can learn different strategies and understand how people perceive your personality, all those things.
Yeah.
That is probably what I would envy of somebody with your personality traits. That doesn't make you a bad person. There's no bad personality,
Right.
whether you're an introvert or extrovert, Enneagram 7 or Enneagram 3 or 2 or 1. None of it's bad. It's
Right.
just how you take on and perceive and respond. All of the things, we're just all built differently.
Right.
That's what makes us amazing
That's who we are. Yeah.
together.
Right. Exactly.
That's what makes this work.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
So, okay, because I think we are kind of getting a little bit into some of the things that we're going to talk about today. But before we do that, I'm going to shoot back to you, pass the ball to you. What's something you've been holding in or holding on to?
For me right now, if you'd asked me this a year ago, it could have been a whole slew of things. But right now, I'd say the thing that is bothering me the most is probably like my body image. Um, I keep trying to talk myself out of it's not bothering me. I don't care. I'm 44 years old. Like, I don't care. But it is. And I've thought about this as past episodes as I have talked about body image. That I'm sorry if I come across because there may be some of you who are going, well, I would die to have to look like you because I do know I have a skinnier frame. I do know that. But that's not what it's about. Like it's about how we feel in our own skin. So I hope I don't want to offend anybody by how I feel about myself, thinking if you are a bigger person than me that I would feel horrible about myself. That's not the case. I mean, it's like what you are used to. And I mean, I've always been a skinnier frame, but it's, it's things are different now. Things are shifting and moving around and but it still does bother me and I'm trying to change some things to get where I want to be because I can keep complaining about it but if I don't change some things to fix it, then I'm just gonna be running the hamster wheel. And so
And it can't, I don't think people realize, like, whether it's body, there's a lot of things, but like when you're holding in or holding on to something that maybe to other people that might not be a thing of worry, or they might be a larger frame, but they're comfortable in their own skin, right? To each their own. Like you can't, it's not a compare of, well, I shouldn't feel like this because I look different than X, Y, and Z. But I think what happens is we don't realize when we are uncomfortable in our own skin, no matter what that looks like, it's mentally draining. And it causes a mental spiral that impacts a lot of things without us even realizing. So I think what's important, especially for you to like say that out loud and those that are listening, is I think it's important that you can identify the root. Like if I'm being irritable because of, maybe it's really not that my kids spilled the plate of spaghetti on the floor and I like lose it. It's really not about that. It could have been like the thought I was telling myself because I just walked past the mirror. I think we sometimes don't understand the root causes of that mental spiral or whatever. And so like the good thing is that we're trying to be vulnerable and we're trying to share is that when you can identify that, then you can figure out how if this is the root, how
do I
can
fix
I move
this?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. And I think it is, I have a friend that she'll be turning 50, and she was like, I know that like there's a certain thing that she wants done, and she was like, I feel vain even saying it. She was like, but this is me, this is what I see when
Right.
you don't see it and other people don't see it, but I'm not doing it for anybody else, I'm
Right.
doing it for me.
Right.
And I think if that is the sole reason, for your own comfort, your own confidence, not that you're doing it based on what you think people are looking at, or does that,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Because and ultimately at the end of the day, it's our brains that we're having to listen to.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, we've got to do things we need to do to make sure we are mentally healthy.
Yep.
And whether that's figuring out a problem that we need to fix or change, or about ourselves, or, you know, an idea, then that's what we need to do. And it may not be the other person's idea, or they think the same thing.
Mhm.
I get it completely.
Absolutely.
Yes.
All right. So let's then dive into today's episode. There's two things, if you're new here, there's two things that we usually always say.
Every single episode.
Really? It's every
I,
episode.
pretty much.
So I say we're going to dive right in.
Yeah. I say all the things.
So much so that her husband bought her a t-shirt that says all of the things.
Yes.
All the things.
All the things.
And so we're going to talk about all the things as we dive in to today's episode about anxiety, overthinking, and the mental spiral.
Yes.
I think what I would like, how I want to kind of frame up and talk, and then, kind of start the conversation, is ultimately when you would think that in the life stages that we're at, that, I'm probably, and I don't mean this in a boasting way, but like I'm probably at peace and at the primest of like happiness within my life. Like I've checked every box I've ever wanted to check. I'm on to the next thing. Like there's always this achievement for more, but I am the happiest I've ever been. And I feel, my kids are healthy. I'm healthy. My family's healthy. We have a great group of friends. Like I feel like we're living the dream. Like there
Right.
is nothing,
Yeah.
work. I love my job. So therefore I feel guilty when I am saying like this past week, I'm gonna like you've seen me. I'm like, listen, I am in a shitstorm, and I don't see the way out at this point. And it's just more of like life happening to me, in ways that I just can't keep up. But I know that it's when I can identify, and these are the things that I have learned about myself, is when there's certain I can tell when I'm going to get overwhelmed by all the things that usually are always thrown at me. Like there's thousands of things that get thrown at me all the time. But when I let it overwhelm me, I know what's happening. I'm no longer like I'm not reading a book of self-development. I no longer am meditating. Doing too much screen time. I'm not getting enough sleep. So like if I already know the patterns that definitely fuel me to make me not go down the mental spiral of like that conversation and them calling me out on it, that's about them, that's not about me. Like I can talk myself, but not if I'm not pouring into myself.
Right.
Does that make Am I
Right.
making sense? So
It's the self-care that you hear so much. Like it's a real thing. Like you have to take care of yourself in whatever way that is. For you, you know exactly what you need to do or not do to be good for everybody else.
Right.
It's a balance. It's a huge balance, I feel like.
And I don't know that sometimes we set back, and I know this through a lot of coaching that I've done. I don't think people set back and can really identify. I did the work to be able to do that for myself, but truly identify. If I said right now, name 10 things that make you happy. So I do this activity with my staff, like 10 things that make you happy. Well, when they start looking at that, like doing activities with my kids make me happy. Okay, well, when you plan the trip to Holiday World, did that bring anxiety? And were you irritable while you were at Holiday World? Because you said that made you happy. So we're not truly like, if that is what makes you happy and you're identifying that, but then when the time comes up, you're getting distracted and bogged down by all the things that of trying to
The
perfect it
planning,
or
yeah.
plan it or
Mhm.
whatever. So you have to almost prepare yourself. But a lot of people are not really, they don't know truly if they had to list things, or they don't set back enough to examine what
Right.
truly makes me happy.
Right. Well, I think we think of what should make me happy.
Mm,
What does the world say should make me happy?
yeah.
I
Uh,
that makes a lot of sense.
because I promise you right now, going to Holiday World does not make me happy at no
No.
like Disney World. Hey, like those things don't make me happy.
Well, there are I do there are things like that that I enjoy, but um you could being in a crowded space of anything, right? I think there's also different times that that could make you happy.
Mm,
Like I loved going to Disney with my kids when they were
mm.
younger. Like it was crazy, busy, but and stressful at times. But yes, like but right now, do I want to go to Disney? No. Absolutely not. Do not put me in a crowd of people. The only time I will be in a crowd of people will maybe be a concert.
Mm.
I could maybe handle that.
You love a
I
concert.
love a good concert with my husband. So, but that's, that's so I feel like there's probably that probably changes a lot
Oh, and I
as
think,
you go throughout your
and what
years.
used to make me happy might not make me happy now. So I
Yeah.
think that we as adults, we oftentimes just let life happen to us and not us let like us control what
Right.
happens for us. And so I do think that we have to examine that a little bit deeper. So that, and I also feel like society, mental health is a real thing. I'm not
Mhm.
going to discredit that by any means. But I feel as though there are times where people don't want to experience any stress or any uncomfortableness,
Right.
and that doesn't, like, I think there is a good balance of like healthy stress,
Mhm.
because that can sometimes motivate you, that can energize you in a way. I'm very
Right.
energized by stress, not overwhelm. And when I'm overwhelmed, I know I'm not taking care of myself.
Right.
um Things around me are overwhelming and I'm letting it consume my thoughts,
Mhm.
right? But I do think that there is healthy stress. I'm an We talked about this before. I'm an athlete, a
Mhm.
former athlete, and there's not a better feeling than like I played softball. There was not a better feeling like give me the bases loaded, a full count, and me on the pitcher's mound. That does not cause me to stress out. Like that's where I'm like, let's go.
That's where you learn some resilience,
Yes. Yeah.
there's a difference. You have your normal stress, like everyday stress,
Mm,
which we should all experience at some point. I feel like you're not really living your life if you're trying to avoid it. Versus anxiety.
mm.
They're two different things.
Yes.
Like there is everyday life stress, like God, kids have this and this and this and this. And then there's anxiety over things that you can't control, or um, things that you really have no reason to be anxious over. That I mean, we've talked about the perimenopause anxiety. That's
Mm,
different than the stress, because I'm not an anxious person. Um, but look back on times in my life where I was anxious, but not in an anxiety driven kind of way, like a good anxious, like
mhm,
something's fixing to happen, I'm excited
mhm,
about, or I don't know how this is going to turn out. And that, yes, like we need to experience those things. It's how we learn
mm,
resilience. That's how
mm,
we learn how to fight through that and not just shut down and throw the cover over our
mm,
heads.
mm,
But we can't, but I think so much that everyday stress, we're calling that
mm.
anxiety.
I would
We
agree.
we put that on our kids instead of
Mm,
just they have things going on and they're a little stressed out. Then, oh well, we're going to diagnose her with
mm,
anxiety and
mm,
put her on medicine.
mm,
I mean, we can't medicate it all away.
mm,
It's life. It's supposed to be.
And
like that.
I think there's a way to examine and probably tools and assessments to be able to really pull back to figure out like the common trends to what that looks like, the consistency of it, when does it happen, the antecedent to what that looks like, to be able to truly evaluate, is this just like common stress, and
Mhm.
like what how your chemical makeup is, and built on that. I definitely think there has to be a little bit more conversation and analyzation to be able to pull back for the bigger picture and not um, treat the symptom and not figure out the root,
Right.
and figure out how to navigate what that looks like. But I'm no doctor, I'm no expert, so just
Well, we say that a lot. We're not, but I mean, we are in our 40s. We have gone through some things, and um, yeah, you just have to figure out, okay, why am I feeling this right now?
Mhm.
Is this something I can fix? Or you know what? Like sometimes it's okay to be stressed out.
Mm,
But how are we going to take care of ourselves?
right.
How are we going to get past that once the stress is I know, like I think about you moms who are your kids are getting ready to graduate high school.
Mm,
Like, I'm sure that is stressful. All the things that they have to do and all the parties and we got to have this and we're getting ready for college and like, I can't imagine but that's a good stress. Like,
mm.
that's a healthy stress.
Yeah, I think that's you just nailed it. Like it's a healthy stress of life moments that if we're worried about all of it being, I think sometimes we self-inflicted stress of
Hmm.
anxiety in reference to we cause more panic around perfection, like being a perfectionist,
Hmm.
or I think you hear the term like
Yeah,
bridezilla,
Brazil. There you go.
around a wedding because they're looking for this is that moment. Like I want
Hmm.
everything to be perfect, and a lot of people don't even know. Like we
No.
worry about things that sometimes either are out of our control, or we just don't have the full scope of the story. And
Right.
so I think oftentimes our our perception or our perspective of a situation causes us more worry because we're trying to understand or piece together other people's perspective of something. I'm way on a rabbit hole right now and I don't know why, but all I'm getting at is sometimes our thoughts of what we think people are thinking or what we think people are understanding about us or within our life, or what we worry about, whether that is common things that happen in life
Hmm.
like milestones or whatever, we tend to overanalyze those scenarios to cause much. Then we are irritable. Like that is, and like I think it's not a panic attack, right?
Right.
And I think
Right.
that was one of the things. It's anxiety can come out. Like I can be irritable right now. I'm irritable a little bit at work because I want people to read my mind so I don't have to do it, and
Yeah.
that's sometimes frustrating to me. And so then I'm like, it's like that mental
Yeah.
cycle. I'm gonna shut up right now because I am like rabbit holing, and I'm not even
No,
making
no,
any
that's what
sense.
no, and that was something I kind of said. Like having anxiety doesn't always look like a panic attack.
Yes.
People can live with that in their like constant, that constant, oh gosh, am I doing this? Am I good enough? Am I does, and finding out what is that revolving around
Mm-hmm.
to cause that
Mm-hmm.
constant anxiety, or is it the normal stress of your job, or and we got to figure
Figure
it
it out.
out. We got to figure it out. And I think sometimes anxiety comes around um, people wanting to be in control,
No.
which I said that is not. I don't want to make decisions. I don't want to be in control. So like, and just little stuff. Where are we going? We're gonna go out to eat. Where are we going? I don't want to make that decision.
Mm,
I make 1,000 little decisions all day long in my job. I don't want to so,
mm-hmm.
but some people get that anxiety when they are not in control,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
or you want it done a certain way, but not everybody else
Oh,
knows the
yes.
way you want it
Uh-huh.
done.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And so then everybody's
stressed out.
exactly ridden at the top.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. It's happening in real time. Like I'm like,
Well, and it is. We go through those ebbs and flows and seasons, and man, sometimes it is hard.
well,
Sometimes it is
it
hard.
is hard. And I think where I frustrate myself and I create more anxiety around my own thoughts is because I'm mad at myself. It all boils down to I get mad at myself for not putting in the work because I know what I need to do to eliminate the overwhelm, to eliminate the anxiousness around certain things. I know what I need to do. I just don't do it because then here's the other mental spiral that I go off of. So Sundays are like my reset days. I look at the week ahead. I try to meal plan. That's when I do all my grocery shop, like all
All the things.
all of the things happen on Sunday. But then there's moments because I'm going 100 miles an hour, all day, every day, that I sometimes then just like I'm gonna lay on the couch and veg out. And then I beat myself the entire time I'm laying on the couch. I cannot relax because I'm beating myself up from the thoughts I'm telling myself of like, yes, you deserve to be here, but it's almost causing me more
Right.
anxiousness of laying on the couch to take a minute.
Yep.
It's just that cycle and that hamster wheel. And I know how to stop it now because I've been doing this for now a long time.
Yep.
It's just, do I have the discipline to be able to do that? So I'm very lucky to be able to know exactly what that needs to look like. I just don't do the work. It's kind of like I think about it like I think about exercise. Like we know as anybody, everybody in this world knows what it takes to be healthy.
Yep.
Uh, we
There's a
all know
million
it. There's a
resources.
million things that
Yep.
tell us what it makes to be healthy. But not all of us are going to do it to be healthy.
Right.
We all know what probably causes, and there's probably a smaller percent of us that is an internal thing that we cannot control a lot of times, um, based on chemical makeup of our brain. However, we know what it takes. It's so hard to do it. And so we pay the price of that oftentimes. And it's just that, and then it's that mental spiral.
Yeah.
It's that impulsivity too. Like I feel like we have like, if I talk to someone and, they're worried about, financial stress, like they don't know how they're going to pay for their next grocery bill, but yet every day that week they went to Starbucks and had coffee. I'm like,
yeah,
you got to examine that. Like you got to be able to pull back to understand that the habits that we do that actually contribute to that anxious feeling when it happens. But if we can't pull back to see our life and the habits that we create, our habits alone are what's probably triggering the mental spiral.
That's.
I am not a psychologist, nor am I a therapist.
Well, that sounds pretty good to me. But well, for me, speaking of that, like the whole exercise thing, I was just wearing myself out, knowing that yes, I need to move, I need to exercise 5 days a week. But I got to a point where it was wearing me out. That was causing me such anxiety, feeling that over my head all day long. If something happened and I didn't get up and do it first thing in the morning, just feeling that over my head. It was something I had to let go of. I had to learn to say, you didn't work out today. It's okay. It's okay. Like, quit beating yourself up about it. It's going to happen. You're not going to be, like, it's not something I love to do.
Right.
I mean, I love when I'm doing it, and I know I feel better, but I also know, like, on days like today, I get up. Could I have gotten up at 4 a.m. and worked out? Yes, I could have, maybe. not happily, but I could have tried. But I didn't because I know also I was missing a lot of sleep when I was doing that, which was making it worse, making everything worse. I get up, I go to work, pick a kid up, and then we meet and record. And when was I going to do it? Could I go home and do it? I could, but it does not make me happy. And so I just know for me, I had to let go. So that was causing me anxiety of kicking myself and beat myself up. And so, yes, I know, like, okay, I should work out today. I should, you know, but guess what? I was on my feet all day long. I was walking around up and down hallways around my room, lifting, doing all this stuff. So did I move today? Yes. So so I tried to back up. Did I move today? I moved a lot. I moved my body all day long. Like I barely sat down. So it's okay, Christy, if you don't go lift weights and get on the treadmill today. You're okay. You're going to be okay. Am I going to be right? But am I going to, that body image thing?
Right.
Maybe not, but something's got to give at some point. So,
well, and evaluating like risk versus benefits, like if, and maybe that's like the business side of me things, but like if you are having like if it causing more stress because now I'm going to lose sleep, it's like again, it's just that hamster wheel we get into. Like it's causing almost more stress when trying to force it in, and so the long-term benefits of that versus the short-term gain. Like, did I just say that right? Maybe no.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what I was trying to say, but that's why we don't edit. That's why we don't edit this podcast, so you can hear us fumble in real time and not make any sense. Welcome to my brain. I guess I'm saying too, so like circling back to risk versus benefits, you had to like teach yourself to let go because yes, did you move? Yes, but like it is less of benefits for you to force yourself to work out.
Right.
It's more beneficial to you right now in real time of you saying, I have to let this go because I did move, but me trying to fit it into already a busy schedule is going to cause me more anxiety. So the benefit, I'm letting this part go because the benefit is I'm creating some space.
Yes.
And I think that's important to allow ourselves grace too. And I know that we could, continue to go on. One of the things and I don't know that I prepared you or myself for this, but it's a winging kind of thing.
We like to wing it.
I do want to share some of the things that I do that I need. I like this is me reminding myself in real time, Amanda, you need to do these things. It's that thought cycle process, like that hamster wheel that we talked about, like an action, but also I don't think that we sometimes identify that our thoughts is an action, and our thoughts, it directly is a circle. Like, does it serve us? Is it yes or no? Like our thoughts create our happiness, and it's the thoughts that we tell ourselves of whether or not we have peace in our life, whether when we have happiness in our life, whether we're fully content and confident within our life. It literally starts with our thoughts, and no one else is in control of that except for ourselves. And so a lot of times what I do is if I'm cycling in a bad thought, like a lot of times that's over conversations because I spend a lot of times in conversations. So with staff or people who I lead. So if I had a conversation and I can't get out, like I don't know how to help that person shift, or I don't like how that conversation went, or that seemed, a certain way, and I feel like I'm cycling, I write down, literally, I have a journal next to my bed. I literally write down the thought that I'm having, and is this thought serving me, yes or no? And if I'm saying no, then I'm going to put all the risk it's doing by me thinking that way.
Oh, wow.
So I list all of the things to hopefully I can look at it, literally look at my thought and be like, I am stupid for even thinking this. And I'm spending so much of my energy thinking through. So I try to convert the action of my thought to an action of writing. So that way I can let that go. Like I can Elsa it.
Yep.
Let it go.
Yep.
And I do that a lot. So if it's the overwhelm of all the things I have to do, which is where I'm at right now in real time. So I do a lot of brain dumps. There's something about pencil to paper, lots of brain dumps and task. Like And then a lot of times, like if it's a huge overwhelming list, that's where a lot of our anxiety, like all the things that we're putting off and we've put them off and there's deadlines and all the things. I've found this strategy to really work. I can't remember. There is a like a thought leader coach that spends some time. Man, what was it? It was parking lot. There's parking lots for your spot. Oh my gosh, I can see the book I read. Anyways, it talks about your thoughts have parking lots and like where you're gonna put them in the parking lot to like dump them. But then once you put them in that parking lot spot, like put a time to it. Like, and a lot of times, all of the things that we have to do, if we look at okay, that's going to take me 5 minutes. That's going to take me 3 minutes. That will take me 5 minutes. Like if we put time to it, really the thoughts that are consuming us, it would take us less than 2 hours, all of them together, if we were to execute them.
Oh.
So like once you get going, if you just say like, hey, I'm going to knock out
Yeah.
5 things that will take me less than 5 minutes, then you get like motivated by actually being able to check them
stuff
off
your list. Yeah.
So you're trying to clear your parking spots.
Yeah.
Man, if I really could remember that book, I would say that was many, many years ago.
Yeah.
And I have to go back to doing that. Like I literally did that this morning and I'm still overwhelmed this afternoon, but I'm going to do it again tonight.
Yes. Well, I would say it's not a one fit, one.
It's a constant
one
habit.
And done.
Yes.
You
it's
know?
a habit.
It's
you have to, a muscle you
Yeah.
have to stretch
Yeah.
constantly for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I go back to this because this is something when I was super stressed and felt all this last year. I was, and Neil bought me a shirt that said this too. I'm fine. It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine.
I feel like we do that. We say that and try to talk ourselves out of what we're feeling, or just feeling the need to keep it to ourselves. And that's where I was at that time. Like, because I know there was so many times that I felt like, why do I feel this way? Everything is fine. Like my life is great. My kid, like you said, my kids are fine. They're healthy. Everything is great. Why? So I feel stupid saying this out loud to somebody because there are other people that have so many other things going on. And I think a lot of that for me comes from too, like I have experienced some crappy things, and which is sometimes where I feel like sometimes my loss of empathy comes in, and I try really hard not to do that. But when you've sat by a sick child's hospital bed, sometimes you are like, especially right out of that season, I had a hard time with people complaining about things, and I would be like, let me tell you, you don't have anything to complain about. But that's not fair. That's not fair either, because and I've talked about this, our hards are different, and there's no comparison. You're comparing apples to oranges all the time. If it is hard for me, it may be it is hard for me, and it something else is hard for you, even though you feel like they're not comparable. But so we still need to be able to feel a safe space to say those things out loud. I feel like when we speak them out loud and we talk about that anxiety and the stress instead of holding it in, I think that was a big part of my problem last year was I held it all in. I mean, I had really good friends, some of my best friends come to me and say, I had no idea. Like I made a Facebook post about it, just because I felt like other people should hear that it's okay. And I had really good friends of mine come to me and say, Christy, why did you not talk to me about this? Why did you not? I just didn't feel like it was worthy of being said out loud. But even though it may not have been somebody else's problems or whatever, for me, it probably would have been beneficial if I would have spoken it out loud.
Wow, that's powerful.
So
I think it's to identify that a lot of people, I think you just nailed and said out loud what a lot of people feel, that sometimes when they're saying that they're fine and they're really not, the thoughts that we're experiencing and cycling through, we don't feel they're worthy to be said out loud. Or you might be internally, like, why is this thought bothering me when I experience some too like,
Right. Yeah.
those were, in a sense, if you measured them, if it was a measuring stick, those were more
Right.
worthy of, like, why is this thought bothering me?
Right.
And so, like, almost beating yourself up, like, if I say that out loud, people are going to think I'm stupid, or,
Yeah.
it seems stupid that I'm worrying about this when I've experienced some pretty life-changing experiences. So
Right.
I I feel like you just spoke into existence and validated a lot of other people's feelings of why they choose to not share.
Right.
Um, a lot of times for me, it's not a feeling of not worthy. It's a feeling of um I don't want to take up space in other people's, like, I'll just deal with it and I'll
Mm-hmm.
get over. I know this season shall pass.
Mm-hmm.
So I just pray about it. Like, that's
Right.
kind of where I land, because a lot of times if I'm brain dumping or I'm praying about it, then that helps me to kind of, like, get through. Or a good gospel music, like the song "I
Mm-hmm.
Need You," whew, that can get
Yeah.
me through almost
Oh yeah.
anything. If you see me in the car rider
And you're
line and
like,
I'm belting Lord, I need you," shit's about to get
oh yeah.
real.
Yeah.
And yes, I use Lord and shit in the same sentence, just but I think that I feel as though it's going to pass, and I don't want to take up because I don't know what other people are holding on to,
Right.
and I don't want to take up their space, or
Right.
make them worry about me when I don't want them. I don't want to inconvenience other
Right.
people.
Right.
So then I'm just like, it's crazy. I'm fine. It'll be fine. I'm
Yeah.
emotionally a train wreck, and I'll put the train back on the tracks eventually.
Well, but so I think we all need to make a pact, all of us, that we're not that we all care about each other, and that and you and your friends and family or whoever, and that you can go and say, like, listen, this is really bothering me, and not feel that we can't do that with each
Mm,
other, because I think it's super important that we do
agreed.
share. So
Agreed. I think this was a much needed. I feel so much better.
I do this. I mean, this is like my therapy.
Yes.
So
Yes.
the getting we get to express it. So let's express yours to us. I
Yeah.
mean, shoot us a message and tell us what are you holding on to, and or go
Absolutely.
find your friend and go have a marg or coffee, and spill
Spill the
it,
real.
spill the real, and don't hold on to that stuff.
Life's too short to hold on to anything.
Yeah.
For sure. So, I love to do this, and I'm not prepared, but I know you are, Christy. So, what is the next episode?
Our next episode is going to be about friendships.
Ooh, adult friendships.
Adult friendships. The friendship shift nobody warned us about.
Ooh. Okay,
So,
it's going to be a
yeah.
good one.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, until next time, guys, grab your coffee or a
your
marg
marg.
and a friend and spill the real. Bye.
Bye.
All right, that's it for today's meeting of the Margarita Book Club.
Thanks for sitting with us and spilling the real for a little while.
If today's conversation sounded like a lot of your own thoughts, you're definitely not alone.
Follow us on social media at Spill the Real.
And come back next week for another round of Real Talk. Same book club, no reading required.